Hi, everyone. Keith Shaw here from Network World. A new study on mobile networks is suggesting that network connectivity is still an issue for enterprises. Joining me today to discuss the survey is Christopher Kenesey. He's the CEO of NetMotion Software. Christopher, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here, Keith.
All right, so talk about the goals of the survey and kind of what you were hoping to discover when you created the survey of enterprises.
Yep. So we had the opportunity to work with WBR to speak with 110 executives of organizations that are making investments in mobile to kind of understand what their challenges are. And we're seeing a great amount of growth in mobile, but we really wanted to get a better understanding is what are the challenges that people that are investing in mobility are facing today, and what's keeping them from growing faster.
Okay, and was anything in the survey surprising to you? Did you discover that, oh, wow, I didn't realize either that connectivity was going to be the top answer, or did they kind of fall in line with what you were expecting?
It's not as much of a surprise, but kind of continued validation of what we're kind of hearing from our customers in the field today.
Okay, so let's go over some of the findings. First, you say that the need for remote connectivity is growing alongside the mobile networks. You also say that some of the results were that there's room for improvement around app reliability and mobile security software. And then finally, that connectivity was the top reason for these mobile-related trouble tickets. Can you go in a little bit deeper into some of these results?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we identified is that almost 50% of the organizations are expecting to make big investments in mobile this year. So their workforce of mobile workers is continuing to grow year on year. That's the first point. The second point is along with the growth that we're seeing in mobile, as a function of that, also the amount of trouble tickets and challenges from a connectivity standpoint is also growing as well. I think 40% of the organizations stated that they have over 300 tickets a month just related to connectivity. And so that was a pretty interesting finding for us is to see a validation that mobile is continuing to grow, and as organizations continue to make these investments, there still is dissatisfaction out there with the ability for these remote workers to really be effective.
Yeah, one of the things that surprised me was how much was done on Wi-Fi. I think 80% had their mobile workers working on Wi-Fi, compared with the mobile WAN, the 3G and the 4G networks, which was 70%. It was still very high, but I expected more on the mobile on the WAN side. Is it that they're asking their mobile workers to either deploy their own networks, or are they going to like a Starbucks or some other place that has public Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I think that's really the biggest challenge for today's infrastructure teams is troubleshooting that, because employees are using their own networks at home, and then without them even knowing, they're hopping on the Xfinity open network that's in their home, and then they're going to Starbucks and they're on the Starbucks network. And then they end up, hopping onto their existing carrier as well. And sometimes they roam to a backup carrier. And so, the big challenge is the organizations are having more and more mobile workers, and the maturity of these mobile workers has really improved. It's no longer like it was, a few years ago where these mobile workers were just using email and internet. The maturity model has really evolved now, where these mobile workers are kind of leveraging these core enterprise apps, but they're not on traditional networks, right? They're hopping across all these different networks, and kind of have a consistent behavior is really challenging.
Are you finding that a lot of apps are requiring persistent connections, so that you're on Wi-Fi and then you jump to a 3G or 4G network? Are you finding that, or is it just that just getting connected to that first network is where the trouble tickets are coming in, or the app crashes or something like that?
It's kind of the persistence of the connection, and then a lot of people don't even know what network they're on. They just know there's a problem, right? And so the challenge is they're in the field and they're having problems with an application. They want to call in support, but they're having issues with connectivity, so a lot of times they can't call them support. So they call in 30 minutes, an hour later, and the poor help desk person has no way to troubleshoot what ended up happening.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, and so they just don't know, right? Is it, because there's a lot of different connection points here, right? Is it, first of all, are they on Wi-Fi or are they with a carrier? From the carrier standpoint, what carrier are they on? Is the throughput, on the connection? It could be five bars, but is the throughput really there as well? And then is it that the carrier's got great connectivity, but the challenge is you're relying on a cloud app, and the cloud app itself is underperforming.
All right. Speaking of clouds, I want to just kind of bring this up. One of the survey questions that you had showed that about half of them had on-premise platforms, and that there was not a big interest in terms of switching to a public cloud. Do you feel that maybe having some of these apps move to a public cloud might improve either the performance of the apps or reduce the number of trouble tickets that people had, or is that just not related to what you were finding in the survey?
Based upon the survey, whether it was kind of an on-prem app or a cloud app, the problems don't go away. For cloud app, actually, it's almost a bit more critical because you really need to have connectivity, to that instance. But the challenges persist, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud.
All right. Another interesting part of the survey had shown that more than half of respondents were saying that they expected their mobile workforce to increase this year. Depends on the actual number, but even with some of these problems that they're facing, a lot of the companies are saying, yeah, but we're going to keep rolling them out. Do you think that these issues they're just willing to deal with because of the benefits outweigh those, or do you think that those companies are going to have even more trouble tickets as they deploy more stuff?
Yeah, I think you're right, Keith, in the comment that the benefits, outweigh the challenges at this given point in time. But those challenges, really can impact the workers, right? They're out there, they're in the field, and they're constantly moving around, and they really want to do their jobs, they want to do it well. But they keep running into these connectivity issues. But the challenge is, and something that came out of the survey, is the fastest growing tickets in today's help desk are these connectivity issues. And they're also the ones that are the hardest to close out. So they're the ones that are increasing the most, and they're the ones that have the longest close time.
Right.
And so it's frustrating for the mobile worker. It's frustrating for the remote worker as well, and it's frustrating for the help desk infrastructure team that's trying to troubleshoot it. So there's kind of problems abound.
All right. So let's say you're the CIO or you're the IT leader who's got to kind of roll out some of these things. What kind of advice would you have for those people in terms of what can be done? Like we understand that we have a problem with some of these networks. Some things we can solve, some things we can't. What would you kind of suggest to those people?
Yeah. So within the corporate network and inside the firewall, your organizations have made the investments in great network troubleshooting tools to have insight into the network and determine what problems are and quickly remediate them. The problem is organizations and CIOs haven't made the investments in tools to troubleshoot connectivity issues outside of the firewall. And so kind of what my recommendation would be for CIOs is you've already made the investment for network tools inside of the firewall. What's your investment for kind of network operations tools for outside of the firewall? Because your core enterprise apps are relying on networks that aren't your own networks, but you still need to troubleshoot it, because if you don't, it's really the employee that suffers at the end of the day and the organization's overall productivity.
What about training for some of these employees in terms of how to use either the mobile apps or the mobile devices? Do you think that would help, or does that or do you assume that they already know kind of everything they need to know about the device?
It's the challenges, more often than not, they don't even know what networks they're on.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of hard to troubleshoot. So the question is I think in the respondents here, a majority of the people that responded have mobile teams of 1,000+ people. So are you going to, train up 1,000+ people to be advanced troubleshooters, or do you make the investments in the tools that can in real time either collect all the pertinent logs, so you can do a hop-by-hop analysis and really understand what the problem is, or invest in tools that actually completely prevent it by kind of insulating the applications themselves to these network issues and creating better persistence around them.
All right, cool stuff. Tell me quickly about NetMotion Software and what you guys do.
Yep, so NetMotion Software is based out of Seattle, Washington, where I'm calling you from today. And we bring mobile performance management solutions to market that allow you to kind of secure all the traffic that goes to devices, have the ability to do kind of deep inspection into the performance issues, and let you know whether it's from a hop-by-hop analysis basis, is it the device, is it the network, is it the application, and really kind of help collect that information to help organizations. And then at the same point in time, we provide kind of traffic optimizations as well. So we're having this call on Skype today, and we're seeing a lot of really interesting use cases for Skype for business in the field today, across utilities, across healthcare. And we have solutions that help Skype for Business stay connected and keep video on, even with up to 40% packet loss. So kind of in summary, we secure the traffic, we optimize all the traffic that goes to the device, and then we also have the abilities to do advanced troubleshooting on all these mobile connectivity issues to determine what the real problems are.
So you'll have a ton of performance data about how this call went then, right?
Absolutely.
All right, where can people go for either a copy of the survey or more information about your company?
To www.netmotionsoftware.com.
Sounds simple. All right, Christopher Kenesey, thanks for joining us on this video today.
Thanks, Keith. Have a great day.